Welcome back to my channel. I'm thrilled to have you here today. If you're new to this channel, consider hitting that subscribe button and turning on notifications so you never miss out on our exciting content. Have you ever wondered why the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, a dispute that has spanned over a century, remains unresolved today? This question brings us to the heart of a deeply rooted issue, a conflict that is as complex as it is enduring. In our quest for understanding, we'll explore the historical context, the core issues at stake, and the recent developments that continue to shape this ongoing conflict. So, without further ado, let's dive into the historical context to better understand the roots of this conflict. Our story begins in the late 19th century with the rise of the Zionist movement. This Jewish nationalist movement sprouted in response to centuries of persecution, particularly in Europe. The Zionists dreamt of a homeland where Jews could live free from such persecution, a dream that looked to the historic lands of Palestine. In the early 20th century, this dream received a significant boost from an unexpected quarter: the British government. In 1917, the Balfour Declaration, named after then British Foreign Secretary Arthur Balfour, expressed Britain's support for the establishment of a national home for the Jewish people in Palestine. This was a significant milestone for the Zionist movement, paving the way for the future establishment of Israel. But the road to the creation of Israel was not straightforward. In the aftermath of World War II, with the horrors of the Holocaust fresh in the world's memory, the United Nations proposed a partition plan. The plan aimed to divide Palestine into separate Jewish and Arab states, with Jerusalem under international control. In 1948, amidst escalating tensions, Israel declared its independence, leading to the first of several Arab-Israeli wars. The newly established Israel emerged victorious, but this victory triggered a significant displacement of Palestinians, known as the Nakba or catastrophe, a deep wound that still resonates strongly today. However, the establishment of Israel and the displacement of Palestinians didn't resolve the conflict. Instead, it set the stage for a series of wars and uprisings, or intifadas, that would shape the region and its people for decades to come. This historical context sets the stage for the core issues that fuel the conflict. It's a tale of two peoples, both with deep historical and emotional ties to the same land, and a series of historical events that have sowed seeds of distrust, resentment, and conflict. As we delve deeper into this issue, remember, understanding the past is key to unraveling the present and navigating the future. At the heart of the Israeli-Palestinian conflict lie four fundamental issues. First, there's the matter of territory. After the establishment of Israel in 1948, borders became a contentious issue, as both parties claimed the same land. Today, the West Bank and the Gaza Strip, areas initially allocated to Palestinians, are under varying degrees of Israeli control. The second issue is that of refugees. The creation of Israel led to the displacement of hundreds of thousands of Palestinians, many of whom and their descendants still live in refugee camps today. Their right to return or be compensated for their lost homes is a major point of contention. Thirdly, we have the issue of security. Israel, a relatively small country surrounded by nations with which it has had strained relations, has always prioritized its security. This has resulted in policies and actions that Palestinians often view as oppressive, such as the construction of the West Bank barrier and the blockade of the Gaza Strip. Finally, there is the status of Jerusalem, a city of immense religious significance to Jews, Muslims, and Christians alike. Both Israelis and Palestinians see Jerusalem as their capital. The city's future is one of the thorniest issues in any peace negotiation. These issues are deeply intertwined with identity, history, and religion, making them particularly difficult to untangle. They have been the fuel for numerous wars, intifadas or uprisings, and countless peace negotiations. They have caused immense suffering on both sides and continue to stand in the way of a peaceful resolution. These issues continue to fuel the conflict to this day. The ongoing struggle over territory, the unresolved matter of refugees, the security concerns, and the disputed status of Jerusalem remain the core obstacles to peace. As we move forward, it's essential to understand these core issues, not just to comprehend the current state of the conflict, but also to envision potential paths towards a peaceful resolution. Despite numerous attempts at peace, the conflict remains alive and volatile. As we look at the current landscape, it's clear that the tensions between Israel and Palestine continue to simmer and at times boil over. In recent years, the Gaza Strip has been a hotbed of conflict. A series of escalations has led to widespread violence, causing a tragic loss of life and property. The Gaza conflicts have stemmed from a multitude of factors, including territorial disputes and the blockade imposed by Israel and Egypt, which has led to dire humanitarian conditions in the region. At the same time, the city of Jerusalem, a shared holy site for both Jews and Muslims, has been a flashpoint of clashes. The status of Jerusalem has always been one of the core issues in the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, and recent tensions have only highlighted the sensitivity of the matter. In the backdrop of these conflicts, there have been significant political shifts as well. The recognition of Jerusalem as Israel's capital by the United States in late 2017 sparked international debate and protests. This move broke with decades of international consensus and stirred deep-seated emotions on both sides of the conflict. On the other hand, the Abraham Accords signed in 2020 marked a historic step towards normalizing relations between Israel and several Arab states. While these agreements were seen by some as a potential step towards regional peace, they also drew criticism for sidelining the Palestinian issue. Furthermore, internal political strife within both Israeli and Palestinian societies has added another layer of complexity to the situation. Political fragmentation, coupled with deep-seated mistrust, has made the path to peace even more challenging. These events underscore the ongoing nature and complexity of the conflict. While the world watches and waits, the people at the heart of the matter continue to live in a state of uncertainty, their lives overshadowed by a conflict that has spanned generations. As we move forward, it's crucial to remember that behind the headlines and politics, there are real people affected by these issues every day. Efforts towards peace have been numerous, yet a resolution remains elusive. Over the years, several attempts have been made to bring about peace between Israel and Palestine. One of the most notable is the Oslo Accords, a series of agreements signed in the early 90s. These accords established a framework for future negotiations and resulted in mutual recognition between the Palestine Liberation Organization and Israel. However, the Oslo process eventually stalled due to both sides' inability to reach consensus on final status issues such as borders, refugees, and the status of Jerusalem. Another commonly discussed resolution is the two-state solution, which calls for the establishment of an independent Palestinian state alongside Israel. This solution has been widely endorsed by the international community and has formed the basis of numerous peace initiatives. However, it has faced significant challenges. For one, the issue of borders remains contentious, with both sides laying claim to the same land. Additionally, the expansion of Israeli settlements in the West Bank has further complicated matters. Moreover, the question of Jerusalem's status presents another hurdle. Both Israelis and Palestinians consider the city to be their capital, and this dispute has often been a flashpoint for violence. And let's not forget the internal political divisions within both Israeli and Palestinian societies. These divisions often undermine peace efforts and make a unified approach to negotiations difficult. Lastly, there's the issue of trust, or more accurately, the lack thereof. Decades of conflict and violence have bred deep-seated mistrust between Israelis and Palestinians, making any form of compromise or concession a hard sell to both populations. These challenges highlight the difficulties in finding a resolution to the conflict. Yet, despite these challenges, the pursuit of peace must continue. The Israeli-Palestinian conflict has claimed too many lives and caused too much suffering. The path to a resolution may be fraught with obstacles, but the alternative, a continuation of this protracted conflict, is simply unacceptable. It's a complex puzzle, but one that we cannot afford to leave unsolved. So, what might the future hold for the Israeli-Palestinian conflict? We can't predict with certainty, but there are several proposed solutions, each with its own set of complexities and challenges. One of the most frequently discussed is the two-state solution, envisioning an independent Palestine living side by side with Israel in peace. However, this proposal has been marred by disagreements over key issues such as borders, security, and the status of Jerusalem. Alternatively, the one-state solution proposes a single democratic state where all inhabitants, regardless of ethnicity or faith, enjoy equal rights. Yet this solution stirs fears of demographic shifts and the potential loss of a Jewish majority in Israel. Regardless of the solution, the path to peace can't be paved without dialogue. It is through conversation that we can begin to untangle the complex narratives, foster understanding, and build trust. This conflict isn't just about land or politics, it's about people and their stories, their fears and their hopes. We encourage you to continue learning about this issue, to engage in discussions, and to listen to the narratives of those directly impacted. Ignorance breeds conflict, but knowledge can pave the way for empathy, understanding, and ultimately, resolution. Thank you for joining us on this complex journey. Remember, understanding is the first step towards resolution. Until next time, stay curious and keep learning. Sharing is one click away, and so is hitting the like button. Don't forget to subscribe for more fantastic content.